Happy Thursday, everybody. Well, I don't know if it's a happy Thursday because we've seen some more than normal volatility in the crypto market following a wonderful tweet by Mr. Musk last night. But before we do that, not only do we have the wonderful Crypto Dave. Say hello, Mr. Crypto Dave.
Hey, how are you, everyone?
And we are very privileged to be joined by a very special guest, the one and only Mr. Oliver Lewis. Ollie, are you there, mate? How you doing?
Yeah, good. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good holiday, I guess. It's a holiday in the Philippines, right?
Oh, that's
So,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. All right then, guys. So without much further ado, let's crack on to it. So today's FinTech Focus brought to you by Connect's Work. We are going to spend a lot of time, Crypto Dave, talking about what the hell happened last night, right? So we had our live stream last week, and everything was looking rosy. You gave me a couple of tips in terms of the crypto to invest in. I kept watching the market, not every hour, but certainly more or less every day, and everything was ticking over quite sweetly. And then I woke up this morning, and then all I saw was, as Warren Buffett would say, was blood all over the carpet, right? And not just Bitcoin, everywhere. So what's going on, mate? What's driving all this volatility more than normal, right? What's going on?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, I just feel like one thing about the crypto markets, just anything to do with that market in particular, is just it's so immature, right? We talk about all the institutions getting in, the market's getting bigger. We got exchange listing kind of crypto related products, some real products, some synthetic products, and as the global market is huge. I mean, now 2.4, 2.5 trillion, I think, when we hit in terms of global market cap, right? And then we have Elon Musk, tweeting about integrating into Bitcoin. Was it 2 months ago now that he said this, or?
It's actually a bit longer. This surprised me because I thought it was only maybe 6 weeks ago. It's actually, if you look at the history of his tweets, it's actually February, March time that they bought out I think it was like 1 billion worth of Bitcoin, right? Which surprised me. I didn't think it was that far back.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember at that time, that news came out. So it was on night. I was looking at the price, and all of a sudden it shot up like 10-15%. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. This is happening, right? This is happening. Institutions are rolling in, and he did the exact opposite in terms of suspending payments, and then all of a sudden it dropped 10, 11, 12%. I just feel like this market is very immature. But at the same time, I feel that we're early in the game, is what I think. So we're $50,000 and $52,000, and I think very much early in the game. And I think people are still investing based on emotions at this point. But just to really quickly, taking a step back. So the Tesla thing was one thing, but two other factors in the U.S. market that actually was starting to make everything very wobbly a little bit. One was unemployment numbers came out. Unemployment was not very good. I think 6.1% in the States right now. I think they were projecting probably 5 something. Another thing, the projection came out in terms of inflation. So the news came out in terms of new report on inflation. New inflation was 4.2%. Versus what they expected with 3.9%. So what happened, the stock's been selling off quite a bit in terms of all the negative news, unemployment, in terms of really getting back to new normal. Inflation means that eventually it's going to be more expensive for companies to borrow money from banks as well, which is going to hit a lot of the tech companies who are growth, in growth mode, which need to borrow a lot of money. As the risky assets, people start selling off, and they correlate that with Bitcoin as well. So Bitcoin starts selling off, and then the Tesla thing came out. So it was on a wobbly grounds already, and then this Tesla just kind of gave a rocket fuel to go the upper side of the moon. I don't know. Yeah, so essentially as well. Yeah.
No, you're right. So basically, what's happened is the wonderful Elon Musk that actually we've been singing his praises on this live stream since we kind of started it. He sent out a tweet last night that basically said Tesla will no longer be accepting Bitcoin as payment for cars until they move to a more renewable way of mining for Bitcoin, right? And actually, when you look at the numbers, they're already at, I think it's over 70% or 71% of coins are currently mined in a green way, right? The challenge is that I think Elon wants to get that a little bit closer. Now, obviously, we don't know the internal pressures that may have caused him to say that, but it does seem a little bit strange that, 2-3 months ago they invested nearly over $1 billion into Bitcoin, and all of a sudden now, out of nowhere, they've turned around and said, actually, we're not going to accept it in terms of payment. I don't think that's the only thing. When I looked at it, and I looked at it a little bit deeper, they're going to continue to invest in it. They're just not going to take it as payment. And I'm not sure if that's contradictory because I don't understand it well enough. So they're not selling off their investment. They're going to keep their investment in Bitcoin. They're just not going to accept it in terms of payment for cars. And I don't know, I've seen some comments across social media that saying he's playing the market. I don't know enough to provide any type of insight on that. It just seems a little bit strange that 4 or 5 months ago they invested X, and now they're saying they're not going to honor any, car transactions. So I think there's probably an underlying reason here. I guess, though, for the man in the street out there, the likes of, me, Ollie isn't a man, and Ollie isn't a BAU man in the street. Ollie has got, anyway, we won't tell you what Ollie is. However, for a BAU man in the street,
I'm
like
not you, Paul.
That's all you need to know, mate. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. In terms of the man in the street understanding of what's happening in the crypto world, is this a foreboding message? Do you think this signals the end of cryptocurrency, or is this something where the likes of, Warren Buffett would say there's blood on the carpet, we just have to hold on for dear life?
Yeah, but I mean, look, I think, it's a lot of new guys are coming to the market now, and the volatility of it is really sickening on a daily basis. But I mean, the hodl is as long as the existence of Bitcoin has been around, the hodl and dollar cost averaging strategy has not failed us. So granted, there are big drops and things like that, but if you keep on, just anything like investments, right? If you keep on investing into it, you don't want to be emotional about it, and you stick to your plan in terms of dollar cost averaging into the market, you'll be fine in the long run. But I think most people are just short term, unfortunately. And especially in terms of cryptocurrency, the volatility is so up and down. It's just people playing to emotions in terms of the markets. What I really dislike about what Elon Musk has done is, for more veterans like myself and Paul, I guess you become more and more veteran. 6 months into the game, you're already a veteran already, to be honest with you.
Okay, I'll take that.
You've seen already many pumps and drops already. But for the people who are in the market, who are very new to the market, this is tough, and it will wash some of them out, and they will never come back. So I think that's the biggest issue. And also with Elon Musk and Dogecoin, which is a meme coin that has gotten so much attention. Again, people are starting to get really greedy, and when greed happens, bad things happen. And when bad things like this happen, people's life get destroyed. And also at the same time, people who are able to get out of the market, even though we're very greedy about it, and not be taking a huge loss, they will never come back to the market again. So to equate cryptocurrency as something like a Dogecoin, because the Dogecoin's a success, there's so many other kind of meme coins that came out. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, Paul, of other coins, meme coin that came out.
Yeah, I saw something. This is to do with the owner of Ethereum, right?
Yeah. Do you know the backstory to that?
No, I don't, mate. I don't. Go ahead and share.
So there's another coin that came out. It's been around for a little bit of time, but it came out recently. It really got to the piggyback off the whole Dogecoin success, this whole Dogecoin stuff. It's called a Shiba Inu coin. Yeah. And look at can you see? I'm not sure if you can see the ROI in this one.
Let me make you a little bit bigger so that everybody can see that screen. There you go. Go.
And let me show the ROI on this one. 1,000,000%.
Wow.
1,000,000%.
So does that mean for somebody as backward as me, if I put $1 in, I would have been now I would be a millionaire?
Yeah. That's what it means. 1 billion, 1,000,000% is what it went up. And it became these guys who are just trying to, create coins, pump it and dump it. It becomes a whole marketing scheme, right? So what they have
Yeah,
done is they created this coin, started to market the hell out of it, and then got to, the guy who created Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, he has a wallet. And this wallet essentially is like a bank account, right? Someone's routing number for a bank account. You can send whatever money to it, right? As
yeah,
long as you know details from it. So if he essentially has a wallet, a lot of people can find his wallet, the one he actually owns. So what this team did was create this whole Shiba Inu coin, which is how throwing a crap load of Shiba Inu coin to Vitalik's wallet. The wallet, right?
yeah.
So they threw a bunch of coins over to it, and eventually it came up to a point where this guy had $8 billion worth of Shiba Inu coin, right? $8 billion worth of Shiba Inu coin. And then they went to news, the creators of Shiba Inu, and said, look, Vitalik has so many Shiba Inu coins. He's a believer in this project. And because of this, we're legit. And then because of that news, it pumped up a bit more, right? So this is how the market is becoming. And this is how crazy and how greedy the market is becoming. And unfortunately, a lot of new guys who come in and get swept up to the whole kind of euphoria. And
Yeah.
I think this is how you do it, right? So if I was new to the market, I was like, you know what, I'll spend 10, 20, 30 grand. If it's going to go up, 1,000%, 2,000%, why not, right? But as quickly it goes up, as quickly it's going to come down as well. And unfortunately, people are not looking into the fundamentals and understanding actually where it's going to change society or change the way their life is. But just looking at purely the dollar, increases, that's happening right now, and that's what's really frustrating with the current, bull markets and the kind of markets movement by Twitter at this moment, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a shame when somebody that likes of Musk can come on with one tweet and basically wipe out 20-30% off the market value, right? It just goes to show, like you were saying, that it doesn't have the maturity or the stability right now. And then you look at, the other side there with the Shibu coin that's suddenly gone 1,000,000% increase. It's just out of this world, right? It's a completely different scenario, certainly that I've never experienced before. He did, though. The owner of Ethereum, I don't know if you've seen the latest social media post today, but from what I can gather, he's sold, I think it may be 1 million USD worth of the Shibu coin, and he's donated that over to India because obviously there's some COVID challenges there with India, right? So I think it's fair that even though we may say, this isn't necessarily the right thing to do, if they're going to give that money away to charity, then kudos to them, right? It just proves that there's some good out there. There's some good somewhere in the world, David.
Yeah, exactly. I believe so. So Vitalik, I mean, he's a billionaire originally anyway because of Ethereum. Ethereum is
Yeah,
obviously the second largest altcoin out there. So I mean, yeah. So basically, he turned the back of that and he just sent his coins over to India that are being ravaged by COVID right now.
yeah.
So yeah, it's great, but at the same time, Shiba Inu coin now is dropping like a rock, right? How much has it dropped recently? 43% over the past 24 hours.
So yeah, so I just looked at my exchange there, and since I've woken up, so which was like, let's say 3-4 hours ago, I've I've not a lot because I'm not in the same park as you and Ollie live in, right? But for me, I've lost money since I woke up this morning. Now I'm looking at it and I can see blood on the carpet, and I'm going, I know. So my fight or flight response is I'm going to withdraw, but I know this isn't going to last because if you look at the other coins, right, which aren't as popular as the likes of the Bitcoin and the Ethereums of the world, there is still some coins out there, like, for example, Nano. Nano's still gone up by nearly 60%. So there's still something happening in the marketplace, right? I wonder, though, David, do you think as we go through this dip, or some people will call it a sale, that we'll start to see the more mature coins, the likes of Ethereum, the Bitcoins of the world, that they will continue after this dip. Let's say it lasts a week, right? After this dip, and they start to come back up. Do you think that those type of coins, the more mature coins, will stay? I guess what I'm trying to say in a really bad way is the more mature coins will continue, and the ones like the meme coins, the dog coins of the world, the Shibu coins of the world, do you think we'll start to see those kind of drift off into the ether, and the likes of Ethereum and Bitcoin will still remain the powerhouses?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ethereum's and the Bitcoin of the world, I mean, it's solidified in terms that they will be dominant for the foreseeable future. The things like Dogecoin and things like that. I think Dogecoin has solidified that it has a future because now it has such a big community behind it. I think people are starting to build on things on top of it. The pump and dump ones, like the Shiba Inu one, and now there's another one called Akita Inu, or there's just so many dog ones, the cats ones too, the donkey ones, whatever now.
We need, for a Welsh one, we need a dragon one. That's maybe something you and me can do. We can create a dragon one for the Welsh.
Dragon one, pump and dump. But that's crazy. We sent Oliver all the dragon coins because he's a big whale, right?
Ollie, you still there, mate? He was.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm listening. I heard the whale comment. I'm not quite sure if that means I've got a lot of things or I look like a whale. So you can take it either way.
I think it's more to do with your financial power, mate, rather than how you look and your diet or anything like that.
With your name, so it's essentially, I think those coins will get washed out, and unfortunately, a lot of investors, especially new retail guys, get washed out as well. They're definitely where I think the difficult parts of crypto investing, especially for new guys who are not guided by someone that they trust as well. They just chase the dollar, right? One thing I'd like to kind of bring up to the audience as well is, even if you're not interested in like the Bitcoins or Ethereums or any coins that have all volatility, I do suggest, especially now that inflation, I think will start going up. Globally, just so much money has been printed last year, right, and this year as well because of the whole situation. Put your money into things such as BlockFi or Nexo, which you can actually earn good interest on your fiat. So if you don't want to invest in the crypto stuff, you can turn them into what we call stable coins. Essentially, these are coins that are being pegged to a currency like the US dollar, euro, and things like that. Earn up to 10% interest on this as well. So one of them I do use is called BlockFi. Block and fi.com. So basically you transfer money to them. They're actually regulated in the US. You can open your account up from overseas as well. You send your money to them to transfer it into a stable coin called USDC, I think what it's called. And that's also a regular stable coin in the States as well. And then based on that, they go running campaign right now between, I think, April until July. If you deposit your cash with them, they'll give you 10% in terms of interest.
What was that website again? Sorry, David, so I can put it across the screen.
BlockFi, BlockFi.com.
Got it.
Yeah, BlockFi.com. So even if you don't want to, invest into crypto per se, you can invest in through this way. So I suggest that the inflation is going on. If you're going to keep your fiats, keep it in a place that's earning more than, 1% or less than 1%. That's keeping with your bank right now.
Nice one. Cool. Thanks, mate. I'm sure our audience members out there really appreciate the advice that you share. Ollie, mate, what's your situation? Have you started to dip your toe in the crypto world, or are you still deciding to use it to buy bars and dorms?
Yeah, look, I've dipped into it a little bit because of David and his expertise and referrals. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. There's someone in the background. 2 seconds.
No worries.
He probably regrets it.
He probably regrets it when he saw the blood this morning, right? He was like, no. Yeah. While we wait for Ollie to come back, I know that last week we spoke about the exchanges, the apps that we can use, the crypto.com, and then the one that you spoke about. Unfortunately, I forget that now. What, in your opinion, what are the biggest downfalls of you using those type of apps, or isn't there a downfall? Is it easy to withdraw the funds, or is there kind of a process you need to go through to withdraw the funds in a way?
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at anything that's very regulated, it takes a lot of time. So they are very regulated exchanges, and their ones are kind of gray. So the reason why I use Binance is Binance, you can open an account, and they're kind of gray in terms of where they're kind of based. So in that sense, you have a very, very lenient limits in terms of how to go about transferring and your funds all over a place. I think the limit when I was checking, this is quite some time ago, was 2 Bitcoin was a daily limit. But in terms of BlockFi and things like that, it takes a lot of time. It takes probably 24 hours to 48 hours to withdraw your funds and things like that. So the problem with any exchanges in general is, look, I'm not a promoter of leaving your cash on exchanges unless there is, one, it's a big one, or two, they're actually earning some interest off it. This must be something more. So if you just bought it and you're just holding it, I would say you put it onto your own cold wallet that's offline.
Okay.
What they say is not your keys, not your wallet. So basically, you give the Bitcoin to them. The exchanges are not regulated; they're not backed by FDIC or any government entities. So if something happens, a hack happens, or the founder says, "I'm going to take all the money, walk off," that's it. Nothing is going to protect you, right? So that's the thing with decentralization. If you want decentralized currency, you also have to be able to custody your own fate as well. Essentially, is what it is.
Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right, because I'm trying. Well, not me, but I know somebody that's tried to withdraw cash from the exchange, and it's not as easy as you think it is. You can't simply go. It's not like going to an ATM or a bank where you put your PIN in number on it, you get your cash out. You do have to go through. You have to jump through quite a number of hoops to withdraw the cash.
Yeah, indeed, and now as regulations getting more and more strict, they want more KYC and this. I mean, look, the banks are not any better anyway. I was trying to transfer a couple of $1,000 into my U.S. bank to another account I have in the U.S. as well. They had me jump through so many hoops, and eventually they canceled out my my transfer because they thought it was suspicious because I was logging in from Japan. The IP was really weird, and the computer wasn't that something they recognized in terms of the IP as well. It's crazy. So I think that's the way it is if you're going to depend on a third party to handle your money.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've had some challenges where I've transferred money from my UK account to my Filipino account and vice versa. And yeah, sometimes the banks can make you jump through so much red tape, and other times it's just relatively straightforward. So
yeah, I think we should follow what Oliver does. He takes like a gold bar around. He just chips a little bit off every time.
Grates it off, right? He grates it off and it has like gold dust his toast in the morning. Ollie,
hey, that's why when you see me, I look too heavy, right? I'm carrying too many bars.
Too gangster, man.
or maybe eating too many bars. So Ollie, before you dropped off, mate, we were going to get some insights in terms of what your experience has been like with crypto. So what's it been like, and where's your head at the moment given what's happened today?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was hesitant to kind of get involved, and I'm more of the traditional. Let's invest in your typical stocks and shares, right? But what I've learned from the past 18, 12 months is that crypto is here to stay. Whether you like it or you don't. It's relevant because the community is too big, and I think the demand is out there. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a friend, old school friend, 2 weeks ago, and now no offense to him, but when he was at school, you just didn't think he'd make it in life, but he's made some money, right? And he's been just talking about it nonstop. Incredible. It's like he's invested six figures, and that's in pounds, into the crypto world. And
Wow.
yeah, and he's happy. But he's not the only one. I mean, there's other people out there. So the demand's there, which means that there's a market for it. Whether, yeah, like I said, whether you like it or not, it's irrelevant, because there's too many people out there that are going to invest in it and I'm going to buy into it. And look, David's a prime example, right? I mean, what is it now at the moment? Like 50, 55?
Yeah, yeah.
And David probably invested when it was like below 2,000, and even probably put more money in when it was hovering around 16, 18,000. So yeah, I mean, technically speaking, yeah, he's a crypto millionaire, right?
Yeah, we all want to be millionaires like you, Ollie. Can't carry on golden bars yet, but hey, I'll show you something. Actually, this was quite inspiring. So just piggyback off what Ollie said. So I had a friend back in April 2017 who paid his friends for some rugby tickets in Bitcoin. It was about roughly about $150. I was in JPY, but $150, and he paid that in Bitcoin. And then recently, he got a text from the same friend who actually transferred Bitcoin for these rugby tickets. And this was the message. He says, "My Bitcoin, right?
Let's make you bigger again. Let's make you bigger so we can see that. Everyone can see the message. Go on.
Yeah, my Bitcoin now 1.2 million is about 10 grand. Yeah, the original was 16,000 yen, which is about $150. So his payment for rugby tickets for about $150 has turned to a small sum of $10,000 now. This was in April 2017. He just held on to it. So I think, people who are patient, he obviously didn't look at it. He just kind of left it and it grew. So the point is, I still think that there's a lot to grow in terms of crypto in general, especially in Bitcoin. And I feel that it can change people's lives in terms of the financial situation.
For the better, right?
There's a lot of people around us. Even this is one small example of it. I think people should be patient to be volatility, but when things are secure, like, oh, what happened to I don't really understand my wallet. It's not something I really understand, or it's kind of sketchy, yada yada yada. When there's full transparency, everything is regulated, the chance is also gone as well.
Yeah, no, I agree, and even though now I've lost money, I'm not going to withdraw my investment, because I'm still based on my original investment. I'm still up on where I was from that. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense. It just simply doesn't make sense. Just leaving it. And I'm not in Ollie's world or your world. I'm just looking at going, oh, I'm happy with that. It's not retirement fund. It's beer money. But hey, it'll do, right? It'll do.
And that's the point, right? Like Paul, there's like, I mean, not saying that there's millions like you, but there are millions like you out there, putting some money in here and there, and the demand's there, right? And if the demand's there, then there's a market for it. So yeah, I truly believe it's here to stay. It's definitely going to go up. I'm not quite sure what Elon's motives are, but he is the big boy, so he can say whatever he wants and shift markets here and there. So yeah, so be it.
And I forgot what I was going to say there, but I wanted to piggyback on what you were talking about then, all. And I thought I had a great point, but I've forgotten about it. So it must have been a lie, right? It must have been. No, that was it. Actually, that was it. It's come back to me. I've only started to increase my investment based on David's advice from a couple of weeks ago, right? So for me, when anybody would say investment, you think I've got to invest thousands upon thousands of USD, pounds, yen, pesos, whatever, right? Actually, that's not the case, particularly in crypto, right? You can invest whatever you can afford, even if it's just £1, for you and me, a quid, right? Just invest it, but invest it on a regular basis. So even if it's something that's like $20, $20 going in every month or something like that, it has a huge impact. I don't know if you saw this, but the checks that were sent out from the US government when COVID hit, I think it was 1.2K per person, right? Or I don't understand how it worked, because I don't live in the US, but I saw somewhere that and I know this doesn't apply for anybody, so I'm not pointing fingers at all. But if somebody had invested that whole stimulus check at that point, now it would be worth over 10,000 USD. It's amazing what it can do for people's lives. It really is, honestly. I've never seen anything like it. The only way it could come close is if you invest in Ollie and his numerous businesses out there, right? That's the only way. That's the only way. Cool.
Gold bearing bags is what I'm saying. He's actually
exactly right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. David, we've been live now for just over 30 minutes. We try to keep it to 30 minutes. So is there anything else before we leave that you wanted to share with our audience members out there? Any hot tips, or is it just kind of hold all, certainly for the next couple of weeks? How about that, Mike?
Yeah, so I mean, look, I think just globally speaking, we should really look at concentrate on inflation. And so what that means is you want to beat the market inflation, which is, I mean, the US is right now looking at 4%, 4.1, 4.2%. I feel that, you should look at putting into investments somewhere where it's going to grow more than 4% in order just to keep your money as it is, right? To keep it just neutral. So don't sit on fiat. Look at, things that I feel are deflationary in terms of real hard assets. So gold, all these things, Bitcoin, other things out there that are hard assets in terms of deflationary value to hedge against what's going on in terms of inflation. As mentioned, a quarter to a third of all the US dollars ever printed since the invention of the US dollar was printed last year. So inflation would happen. So as I mentioned, the BlockFi, you can change it into stablecoin, which you don't have to technically get exposure to so much volatility, but you can earn up to 8 to 9 to 10% on that. Again, you're hedging against inflation. So I would recommend anybody who is skeptical to don't look at cryptocurrencies. This is Bitcoin. Look at something that sounds like BlockFi, the stablecoin. You can keep your value, but also beats the incoming inflation that's happening right now.
Perfect. Thanks, mate. And again, really appreciate your time and effort, and the fact that you just come on and share your thoughts and share your expertise is wonderful. Ollie, if you wouldn't mind, mate, the three of us were very lucky to have the FinTech Focus with Crypto Dave, supported by Connect's work. Could you maybe explain, Ollie, what Connect's work is and how it works and what they're trying to do in the marketplace, mate? Because it kind of aligns quite nicely with the cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, so let me. I think David can chime in on the crypto side, but from our recruitment point of view, it's a job platform where the referrer will get rewarded for any successful referral they give to clients out there. Now, just to let you know, guys, the job market has never been this busy for years. Like, there's actually more jobs than there's recruiters out there or applicants out there. And I think with Connex, especially on the client side, look, I know this sounds crazy because I own a recruitment business, but why are you paying crazy recruitment fees when you can advertise on our site for free and then reward those that are happy to refer within their network, right? The candidates that probably headhunters or even your internal recruitment team can't find. So you basically created the biggest recruitment team without even paying for it until something successful has happened. So that's what it is from my point of view. And I guess over to David in terms of the FinTech crypto side of things.
Yeah, just really quickly. So the idea is we want to also pay out the rewards to successful referrals in cryptocurrencies as well. As I mentioned, the whole idea is to create a lower cost for clients, like Ollie said. But at the same time, I think a lot of people, I know, the lives have changed because of crypto. So we want to pay these rewards in crypto. So one of these days, hopefully 3-4 years down the line, they can show a text to us and say, hey, look, Connex, thanks for paying us this $100, $200, $300 in crypto at that time. Now my investment is 5 times that, 6 times that, just like that. So we can pay people in fiat, But the thing is, we pay people in fiat. There is a barrier to get into crypto. Why not just give them crypto as a reward first? To this way, they can get a little bit closer to maybe financial freedom in the future.
Perfect. Wonderful. I think it's a great idea, and the crypto is destabilizing the banks, and I think with Connect's work, it's hopefully destabilizing the recruitment industry, and that hopefully, Ollie doesn't run off into the sunset with all the money he's made from the recruitment industry. Ollie, I joke, mate. I joke. David, again, Crypto Dave, thank you so much for joining us this Thursday. It is one of the highlights of my week. I'm very fortunate to be able to spend this time with you, mate. And the way that you describe things is just great for like a man in the street, a BAU man like myself. Ollie, thanks so much for joining today, mate. I know how busy you are. I hope that we can start to see you more regularly on certainly the FinTech Focus with Connect's work, because it really does help having you on and getting your insights, and also it gives David and I somebody we can poke fun at. So there we go.
No, definitely. And in terms of the Philippine market out there, look, you guys are going to hear more about us in terms of what we're doing. Our actual technology and product, it is being upgraded, although the site's still working. So it's getting a lot better. So we get more customer transaction. So yeah, all good. I shall be around every Thursday at 5 p.m. if I can make it, which is most every Thursday. So all good on my end.
Perfect. Ollie, thanks very much, mate. Crypto David, thank you so much, guys. Right, audience members, please throw some questions our way. We really enjoy the fact that we've got an audience out there and really enjoy any comments and feedback. And ultimately, we're here to help you guys out and navigate you through the minefield that is cryptocurrency. Thank you very much for tuning in to FinTech Focus on a Thursday, brought to you by Connect's World. We will see you next week, where we have our first ever guest, and we're very, very excited about that. So yeah, we can't wait. Cool. Everyone take care, and thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
Good, guys.